I had made the title. I was unsure about it. Wow, two people very instantly. Welcome. I was unsure about it, and then there was been this glitch that YouTube's done a couple times, um, and I clicked back the page, and it did actually save the title, and then I kind of went from it, came back again, and I was like, oh, let's just do it. So definitely want to talk about the title for sure, and I'm still working my way through this, and maybe share a song, and both of you went at the same time, so whatever. But I also do these, because I get something from doing them too, But so I almost want to do the song. Is the guitar down here? It was. They made me move it. I think it's over there. Yeah. Because even though sometimes things are a bit of a struggle sometimes, I feel like I need, I don't know where necessarily to turn. And I do sense my friend Ray around at the moment. And this is a perfect example of something that I've had some practice with, not as much as I could have or other people that do it, but that I've had some practice with that shows right there that, although I'm learning in life that, having a degree can help you get further, but so does having a vehicle. This wouldn't be such a thing, a little disappointing, but if I drove, I'd say, okay, I'll go to this other location instead and drive there, no problem. And I feel like Ray's saying, yeah, but I sense that this is kind of stressful for you. I'm sorry that you're going through this. Speaking to my telepathy. Like, I mean, sometimes I'm not feeling it. And, part of me says save those lines for, people that can't do that. Although I think that we all kind of can, and can get better at it. But basically, let's see what happens with this. I mean, she says, and the dog's being good. Hello. Across from the mall. Hello? Hello? Hi? Hello? Right, yeah. Oh, an hour ago. Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm just gonna let you know here.
Really? Okay. Well, I'm not sure how you know that, but oh, okay, from both locations. Oh, okay. Yeah, because the reason that I kind of caught about it is I'm still trying to figure out what's going on with my health and just trying to find some social activities as well and learn and on and that and basically so I went to one group this week at the other location, which is actually closer for me, and found out that well they kind of did looked at doctor records a little bit and found out that at this point I wouldn't qualify, and they said this one here is more open. Must have been after she talked to me then, because I think she would know that I'm not that old. Yeah. Yeah, that could be about as long as it was since I did. Okay. I hope I don't come across as 55, but I feel it sometimes, but okay. Okay. All right, thanks. And it's true, I was the younger one. younger one there, but wow, Ray's actually sharing with me that she went through something. Well, no, she's not. This is my own head trying to be comforted in this instance because she wouldn't have. Sorry, I'm just a bit distracted. But I mean, the information I just got does kind of make me feel like one of my distractions I maybe don't need to think about anymore. I don't know. It's and she said she talked to the one that I talked to 30 minutes ago. I feel like it's been a little bit longer since that, but maybe it's been about that. And maybe her estimate was a little bit off. I don't know. Maybe she said um, but I'm pretty sure that's not the case at this location. No, it's not, but it's for 55 plus. Or maybe she gave her a heads up that I'd be calling. I mean, I don't know why she'd need to. Um, it sounds like I don't think she would have told me about it because that one said, "No, you sound young," and but I'd never met her. Um, and the other one said, and she said that she just talked with her like 30 minutes ago, um, and said that she was going to let you know about that, but that it was 50. I'm so confused. She did say after the summer things opened up more at this other further location. I don't want to watch back the rest of that video later. I want to do music. You know, Ray's saying, yeah, but you know, that's something you can always do. And you're so good. Um, and I hear her voice. I actually, that was a very strong audio telepathy that I just heard there. Because, yeah. and, uh, and she's like, yeah, buddy. and, like I said, I didn't get training for this. I just can do it. I didn't know for the longest time, or I couldn't for, you know, when I was younger. But, um, see, the person I live with is gonna know that I went to a group. I enjoyed it. Yeah, I was looking at posting that video. Oh, maybe. I really think there's something to that, and I almost want to talk about it. I know it's not quite on topic with the video, but I know that people do, and I know that people do on YouTube, and there's lots of videos about it on YouTube. And I'm very tempted. I'm very tempted to talk about a side topic here. I mean, I can just hope that he'll forget that I was going to a group, and maybe I shared it too soon. I don't know, but I'm very verbal, and so, no, so I'm looking forward to this today and that. There are different types of grief. Maybe I'm grieving this group, and the other one, it may have some of the same people in it too. Um, and I almost think no matter what, like that, you know, as long as I'm a kind and respectful person as I am, that one I certainly could do. I did say to honor someone, especially didn't agree with, but you know, it sounded like it was ongoing, but then I've also heard that it's only 4 weeks, unless it's both. She says, "Buddy, buddy, buddy," and holds my hand. And he's not going for lunch probably for another 20 minutes. She says, "Am I going to be okay?" When I'm in tune, I'm in tune. I'll tell you that much. I don't actually channel with my eyes closed very often, but and it's not that it doesn't feel real if I don't, but there's a part of me that kind of want this. You really miss me, eh, bud? She says, and the dog's being good, and I'm being emotional. This is the one that's emotional. She says, "Look at my picture if you want. I mean, you know what I look like, but if you want." She says, "You should be happy that you don't have this disorder. I understand why it disappoints you because you'd found that group. It was something you felt you were needing lately, and you have been given the impression that either way, regardless of your reason for going, which were all positive and legit, by the way, that um, you um, were welcome there." So I lived with that disorder for a long time, and sometimes it was easier than other times. I really want you to realize the blessing in the fact that maybe you don't have it yet. It's in genetics, and it's so easy to get it, and I'm actually really surprised. But I was feeling very sick, or I was feeling quite sick, on and off, but fairly consistently for about 3 weeks. And so I kind of was thinking about this loss, and I was kind of thinking about how um, you know um, I wondered if it was something that I had. Maybe I need to join a celiac group. I have been told I have that. I wonder, is there such a thing? But since I know I already have that, I'd hate to hear horror stories. It's one of those things, honestly. I think the biggest thing, kind of like this other thing, is I'm confused about that. Is you know is something that yeah, I diet and exercise. You know, what was my education? Well, learning about health is one thing. You know, not needing to learn how to channel because I personally know how to already. And when I'm able, it can be very nice and very special. I mean, they don't necessarily. They're there for comfort. They don't really need our advice. That's something I was reminded of recently. They're there to comfort us and to have some laughs with us. But honestly, unfortunately, they don't. And I'm reminded of this a bit lately. They don't. Um, Sometimes, even if they really, really want to help us, they don't know what to do any better than we do. They're in a different plane, a different realm, right? And even though the two can kind of come together, um, ultimately they can't come with us and help us at a certain place. They can't um, travel, like getting from one place to another is so much different for them. And she says, but I do remember when I was living that I often had access to a vehicle, and that helped me get to work. It helped me sometimes go see my friends. It was very generous, she says. And, to any other medical and supports things that I needed. And I'm so sorry that, but you know what, right? It's not just the transportation. Like, I'm too damn young. I'm usually too old, you know, but I'm too young for this group and I'm too unqualified for the other one. she says that it can be hard to find what we need in life. Can't it, bud? Sometimes. And she says, and I'm sorry about that. I mean, it's not your fault. But she says, I know, but I'm just trying to, empathize and give you some comfort, like you said. I know. Just let it out, bud. Feel the feels. You know you're not less of a man. She says, one thing to remember is that I want to remind you of a couple of things about the situation that I've observed. She says, one, you were still treated with kindness and understanding. Two, um, they don't know your situation. I did kind of tell the one that it was hard to get out, but I didn't understand. They want it to be a safe space uh, for people that have. And like today, they did find out that I don't at this point. If I ever develop it, maybe I just need to eat more sweet. I mean, I do. I put quite a bit of sugar in my coffee. There's always natural sugars and things. I do hit pastries every now and then, not because I'm trying to get this condition, but I do this, and yet I'm still. And she says, and it's really hard because you kind of fit into a lot of communities, but getting the opportunities, like they don't know the situation. Yeah, getting opportunities is where it's hard. She says, but you know what, bud? She says, even though we can communicate this way, which I still find really cool. I mean, she says, when I was alive, I knew about people that could be mediums. I almost went to one, but she's actually saying she chickened out, which is interesting. Yeah, she just thought that it might freak her out if they were accurate. Okay, that's interesting, and probably actually fairly common. You know, um, she says that she did get a couple tarot readings, but and I kind of actually remember going back to more so her friends, but I kind of knew them. Their apartment, it was close to mine. After, you know, in my 20s, a night of singing at a club, um, they just were going there, and I thought, okay, sure. And I was a bit of a night owl, and living differently then, and it wasn't going to cost me anything, and it was close to home, so I said, okay. And I do remember somebody had a tarot deck out, and I think Natalie did it too, actually. And she says, no offense to you guys. She says, like those that can channel. And she says, being able to talk to me. And she says she does have one other friend who went and saw a medium after her passing. And she says that she actually said that that person wasn't quite as skilled as me, interestingly. And she really had to try hard. Because she wanted to believe in them. She wanted to come through for her friend. Her friend had paid quite a bit of money, unfortunately, she says, uh, is letting me know this with my ability. And the medium was unfortunately very generic. Yeah, and you know what? Like sometimes life is generic, like, I mean, we're more alike than we are different as people. And as one of the famous ones often says, there's only so many ways that someone can pass away, and basically, but and the viewer was there for like 2 minutes, but as soon as they started talking about death, and I understand, and it's a soft spot for some people, and I understand, like people that don't have this ability or that have recently. No, I get it. I get it. And they just came in at the wrong time and heard me say exactly what I'm kind of referring to. Now I have it selected so that just her eyes and a bit of her nose are showing and top of her head, obviously. Her lovely smile, her wonderful hair, the a mixture of two colors I've seen. I don't know if I ever saw her blonde, but I'm sure she has been. And it's perfect. You're perfect. You were such a good friend. And even though you can visit me this way, I miss you. You came in and saw about the group. The bottom two don't say seen, so she's active. I know she has said some things going on, but like I said, I had to experience bad news. I'm always here, bud. I'm always here. We can make our own group whenever you need one. With all of us here and you. Going to order that email from her, but I'm going to go back in a moment as well. And it's very ironic that not long after I woke up this morning, I found myself getting some ideas for YouTube, a couple of which I've done. Another one I'll do on the 17th. And I found myself writing a song. She says, "Do it, buddy, do it." I just want to hold your hand. Actually, I want to hug you. You're in a better place. I don't usually get emotional in these YouTube videos, and when I was talking about homelessness and that kind of stuff in the other one, I thought that I was going to there. I'm just going to send her a direct link for this. I mean, and it's very interesting that, one of the things I do and don't feel like she's transpired it, but one of the things that um, that I plan to do, as I've mentioned in other videos recently, is look at some of my old videos. I can't do the karaoke ones because YouTube doesn't like karaoke. They're like karaoke covers, although I think it used to. And Facebook usually used to, but now they're doing their thing with that live stream thing. So I'll get song ideas, and some of them aren't karaoke. And then I'm going to find ones to sing along with. But right at the moment, I have a video open that I've been meaning to finish for a few days now. And it's actually a visit. I don't know why that doesn't say scene, but it says you're typing. It's actually a visit. I think it was at a convention type thing, like there was different tables set up and this and that. And I don't know how anyone could do one in those or even in groups. I think because it would just be so overwhelming, and with my ADHD, I struggle to focus anyway. Also, or I'm kind of, my focus is in many different places, but also to focus on a message from spirit. I mean, unless it's my own loved ones who I'm extra in tune with, and it's like just for myself, and it's maybe just really quick, I I don't. And these days, I'm not going out a lot. This thing that was starting to get me out a bit more, but yeah. So I don't really, yeah. So, but it wasn't with him though. I thought they belonged together, but should we remove your root canal? Anywho, she was typing though. So, but basically, and I was a little distracted earlier, with other topics, and then I went out for a bit. But this morning I wrote a song, and it really seems to fit, or started to write a song. It really seems to fit with what I'm going through right now. I have a couple times actually felt, and unfortunately, the first time I recorded it into a device that was a cheap thing, and I don't know where it is, and I might still have the SD card somewhere, but this was a long time ago, about 10 years, maybe a little more than that. Um, I was still living with my mother. I know that, so it's got to be at least, yeah, 11 or 12 years ago already. And I did feel that my dad helped me write a song spiritually, and I've also felt one other time, but I can't remember who that was. I do feel this was me. I mean, I wasn't very awake when I wrote this or started writing this. I do feel like it was me. Um, but okay, and it said she was typing, but then it stopped, so I don't know what that's about. I don't want to tune in while I'm calling him, but this is around the time when I would be able to. I don't really want to tell him a whole lot at this point. But yeah, and I have this video, and I guess I got a little bit of recording, and I was playing it out, not great quality, and I was talking about it a little bit, but it wouldn't play out in this very well. Oh, hi. How's it going? You on lunch? Oh, just finishing it. Okay, got it a little bit before 2 then. Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. Um, a little bit mixy, but I'm kind of um, getting some content out on YouTube. Then I went out. That went well. Now I've had some stuff to process since getting home, so I'm working on doing that. But yeah, and mostly. And give you more updates later, perhaps. And look forward to getting home. Okay. All right. Yeah. I was walking back from the river. I don't know if he sensed something or not. He said, "Sounds like things are mostly going well." Ray's saying, "Yeah, but you got to focus on the positives too, eh?" I know, and I know there are some. Speaking of homeless people in the previous video, I'll never forget, and I don't know why it didn't surprise me, but it sat with me and still does. So, do you live in an apartment? I have a house. You have a house? So, you married? Yeah. Oh, wow, that's great. So, oh, you have a pet? Oh, just his excitement. I don't take these things for granted. I don't. But maybe when we have, even if we appreciate, even if we do our best, we still might take things for granted a little bit sometimes. And speaking of the name Leanne earlier, I know when my friend Leanne had cancer, she started doing gratitude posts. She had it for a number of years, actually, different types. Um, Gratitude is important. Um, but And I did send something a few moments ago, and this is deep. This is very deep. But if you are seeing this, I really urge you to try and be here, try and be in the present of it, feel the feels. Um, she's been really specific as to what she's eating lately, but eggs. Um, which I kind of said. Um, Basically, nobody's here right now, but basically, and it's only been 31 minutes. My goodness. Um, like this is a bit of a tailspin. I'm still trying to adjust to the news I got, but I do sense Ray and my dad there. And I felt like I was hearing it from my dad first, but then she kind of agreed with with the statement that they took life for granted, or they kind of feel like they did, and that wasn't necessarily always good. My dad saying he took for granted that, and it's this is still not the physical. I'm thankful. I'm thankful. Don't get me wrong, but he says he took for granted that just life in general. He said that you remember that I shared with you that when my parents passed away young, and then I became your father, uh, that I worried that the same might happen to me. But I tried to tell myself not to worry. He says I tried not to let my mind go to that kind of place, and he says so. I worked and I was a provider, and I spent some time by myself, and I was with spent time with your mother, and you know I hear that spirit doesn't feel quite to the same emotional extent that sometimes we do on earth, but I am sensing my dad is pretty emotional. He said, but what I didn't do was spend more time with you growing up. And he says, I think you really needed that. And he says, I think you needed it more than, some of your workers, which now are people you had in your life and maybe don't, or not in the way that you would like. And I should maybe share this with you, but I don't, because I've been thinking about him a little bit with the bowling. I don't know. It's his school email, though, isn't it? Because he's a teacher. I think it's the only one I have. So I don't know if I want him to see this. Funny because that's kind of what we came up a couple times. And um, but at the same time, we don't want them to feel bad. He says, oh, no, absolutely not. They were providing a service. None of us knew, what was going to happen to me. And that was, what they were doing as students, or like CYWs, students, or in their career at that time. They needed clients. And I did find out that I wasn't the only one that at least one of them had. And I sometimes you're naive. One's naive anyway, right? But when you're a kid, sometimes you're naive in different ways. And I thought I was, for lack of a different way of putting it, special. I never really thought of it that way, but it's kind of like, oh, cool, they were. But no, oh, cool, they were. I mean, now she's offline. But you got us, bud. And Ray's saying, like, that I had a very great life. I had a lot of friends. I got to see them a lot, even when I was at work, and I had a pretty good family. She says, and I did what I did kind of take for granted. She's saying is my health. I'll be honest with that. She says, um, and I wasn't always taking as much, being as proactive as I could have been. Um, Usually I was, though. I was pretty good, she says. Um, and as long as I get that art put away later, because now it's a trigger. And, like, I had stopped going to a group because somebody said something that sounded quite unsafe. As a fellow female, the leader took it kind of with a grain of salt. Then, when it kind of seemed to be a bit more of a bother, she contacted her and said, "Oh, well, I only do that when I'm out at night," and believed her on that. And I couldn't believe the stupidity of all of it. So, and the energy in that group. We want to talk about good and bad energy. Like, I know that they were people with unhealed wounds, and all them were older too. I mean, she says, "Oh yeah, buddy, like you are you are younger and you're of the age where you should be, you know, no judgment either way, but where you should be able to contribute to society and feel fulfilled and feel, you know, young and vibrant." And my dad says, "Yes, but mental health plagues a lot of people and does not discriminate with age or anything like that." And he says, he says, "I don't know what word you'd want me to use, but I'll just say there's been some challenges. And you and I, him and her, haven't necessarily talked about them much." And I just want to say to both of them, yeah, but I don't think they should hold me back. I don't feel like they do. Oh, this title really intrigues people. But anyway, I hadn't intended for this to happen. But, and Ray says, "I get it." It says it's interesting. They're talking with each other, and I'm channeling it. That doesn't happen all that often that I've noticed. They can sometimes be a few loved ones around at once, but this doesn't. This is interesting. Um, I don't know. People click in, then they would see the live chat, um, and um, she says, "Yeah, we don't always have the same opportunities in life, right? And some people get get don't get things that they may deserve in their life." She says that she was very lucky, and she already said why. Um, and well, that was so sweet. As the viewer was on there for a few seconds, but that was so sweet because you know, she said to my dad that he's lucky because he got to be my dad, and I'm a pretty cool person. She says, "Thank you. Your dad was very lucky to get to have you as a daughter, and your uncle and your sister and everybody else. And I feel so sad for them. And I want to connect with them because I think it'd be mutual great for all of us." She says, "Well, I'm going to remind you again, my sister doesn't hate you. She doesn't hate most people. She was stressed before the funeral. She was upset. And as you've said before, she knew some things like who had my phone was the big one that you didn't know when you asked. And you had a, you know, you weren't intending to do anything wrong. And I get and watched some of it." She says, "Why you asked? You realize now because of who has it and the number you were asking for, that would have been a bit awkward. But otherwise, I'd love for you to have it. But I've tried to tell you before, since then, and it's true. I don't know whether I felt that it was from spirit or not. But she's like, Bobby is just not doing well right now, and I hope you can hold her in your thoughts as well. Um, I'm sure she'd really appreciate that. But I mean, I don't think that she's able to be a friend right now." And she says, "And I know you're a very resilient person," and she is. She said, she says, "I know that you're a very resilient person, and no matter what you're going through in life, just like myself, you want to try and be there for people and be there for each other, and that's a very very sweet quality," she says. Um, but unfortunately, when some people aren't doing well, they can't. And she says, "And I don't want you to get disappointed." She says, "I'll be honest with you, actually. There has been a couple times, please don't hate me. And I know this is very personal to me, but whatever." She said, "There's been a couple times where um, she has seen this particular person look at what I wrote back to her in the only place I could and think about getting in touch." And sure, it was a little bit of her own mixed feelings. But she says, I actually kind of nudged her away from it. She says she may not think that she's a medium, but thankfully she does sense me a little bit. And I'm not surprised to hear that. I didn't know this woman super well, but I'm not surprised to hear that. Yeah, and so she senses me. And even if it's just something simple, like I told her, not right now, not right now. And I know that you want to make that connection, Cor. She says, but for her sake and kind of for yours, not right now, buddy. Not right now. It is what it is. I kind of thought that's probably the case. You have us. It's hard because I was going through a time in life where I needed a sense of community, connection, and belonging. I've just been too stuck in my own little bubble. And I want to be of light and positivity and such for other people. And it's very hit and miss on here. Again, some people with the best of intention or some curiosity maybe do intend to start watching my videos, and maybe they're stockpiling them or whatever, and also some people, um, but yeah, with the risk of possible can, with the risk of hearing about medical, safe space, well, when that guy was talking about that thing that happened with his eye, though, that wasn't about this condition and the thing that happened with his hand, you know. Um, and not everybody's going to go through the same things, even if they do have the same condition or whatever you want to call it, you know. Um, and the dog's being so good. I agree. Um, I'm trying to find it. Is this it? She says, "Buddy, I know how much you miss singing with me and hearing me sing." And she says, "And I know you believe that I'm very talented, and I know that you've been wanting to do more singing on this video, on your channel." So she says, "Here's a gift from me, and what I want you to think about as you're doing this, and if you're able to," she says, "Sorry, what I want you to think about while you're doing this." Where's the speaker? I think it's out in the kitchen. Just a moment. Is this is not to say because of genetics or whatever that eventually. And I almost did this song a few days ago. She says that you might not find yourself there in the future, and I think you'll be welcome then. She said, but right now, I want you to let it go. I want you to, if you need to go to that one group that you still could go to, this is again just for me, but this is showing the power of it. Like, I mean, when I see mediums, like famous mediums, videos of them, we're not seeing the whole thing, that they do. I'm still going to probably have to take another stab at this Facebook post. We'll see. Hey, Sonny, good boy. We're not seeing the whole episode. She's saying there was a part of me that kind of actually made this happen. You can believe maybe it was certain other acts that you did, but a lot of your thoughts that are for it being okay, I agree with. They make a lot of sense. I agree with, and yeah. But she says, but I had something to do with this, and I've got to be honest with you. And I did ask your dad's help, and that she says, his connections last. Okay, there we go. I appreciate that you were going there in my honor. And if you want to talk about me, or you need to go to a group setting, or you need to go to the things you need to go to, that you can go to channel some of your feelings and share your ability if you choose to, but otherwise just to go there, that cool, and that's nearby. And the barbecue, she says, have a lovely afternoon at it. I know you will, even if you are good new music at it. And she says, I get it, and I'm sorry, and that's a topic for another time. She says, because like, as much as I want to, I was going to offer it, you know, to this place, but there may have been a space for it, or it may have been right out in this busy plaza. But there's a couple people I didn't want to run into, and she says, "You know what? We were protecting you with that too, because we didn't want you to have to go through that awkwardness and that conflict, and we could see that you were stressed about it." She says, "Also, although we do wish the best for you, and your days and the things that you're trying to get involved with," she says, "I was the one that had this condition. You don't. So." even though the lyrics are a little bit funny in this song, she says, if you'd like to sing it with me, bud, we can sing it. And even though we have a lot in common and we have respect for each other, we have mad respect, bro. She says, this thing wasn't you. What you were trying to do, and you weren't trying to do it with ill intent. You weren't trying, and you're being good. I'm just giving you some love, Sonny. You weren't trying to do it, to whatever. But she says, I mean, when this is on, and this is one of my most powerful sessions I think I've ever had. Um, um, it's not something you have to deal with right now, other than kind of getting past this. She says you still have something. You still have some things connected to that place that you can do. Enjoy it. That I do not have this condition anymore, as you know, but it was a big part of my life. It is not yet part of yours. So be you, and I'll be me. And I'll remember the person that I was in life. And I'll be so happy to be sharing with you all and with you, my friend, that I'm better, that I'm happy, that I'm still singing and dancing and having a good time and smiling. I'm okay, buddy. I'm okay. So, I want to do these quick lyrics. I had a tune. Maybe I'll just read it as a poem. I had a tune in mind when I wrote it this morning, but I didn't put chords to it. And I didn't know that this was going to transpire. Although I could say that maybe I saw it coming, but I kind of didn't, because I just went for the first time this week. The one group, I said I'm coming to learn, I'm coming to honor a friend, and I think I might fit into this. And those were all honest reasons, and they accepted that. And they weren't even super pressuring me. But when I had to try and figure out how to work this, they said, I guess she was a little curious. Maybe they experience often where people are a little unsure and think so, but maybe not. And so she looked it up and she said, it doesn't look like you are, Like again, they weren't mad at me. They weren't disrespectful, I think. And I don't know where that chapstick went again. But she says, are we going to sing together or what, bud? So, but first of all, not in any particular importance, I just want to finally get out this email and then do that, and then we'll talk about the stuff on the 17th. But I wrote, in another big Ray, thank you, Ray, and Ray, W-R-A-Y, from friendship and also cheerleading, for me, and you keep me believing. From company, love, and acceptance from you, I'll give it too. From sales to signs and heads and tails of life, from food always by my side. So actually, I might not be able to access the hamper either. I just realized that. She says, I'll keep the money coming for you guys. We'll try our best. We always do. And sometimes you notice that we're helping, sometimes you don't. But we're doing our best. However, even as angels, we can't control and rule the world. And we can't always make it happen. Okay, it wants to open in that, so just a moment. And now it went from that post that I've been looking at. Somebody just liked this 2 hours ago. Oh, I was trying to do good. Somebody in the area, and I posted in a community group. When I came to the site, it distracted me. That their car window in their driveway along the corner of the street is open, just so you know. And 17, no, that was this morning. About 10 hours had went by. Nobody had seen anything, commented it, anything. And I guess it wasn't for recognition. I mean, that's the thing. I need recognition these days. We all do, but it's not all about that. But I don't think it's bad or wrong or no or whatever. Anyway, I should say that, and then I commented 7 hours ago, like say, "Wow, no one. I should stay. I walked by and thought unsafe, but maybe they forgot. Maybe some people thought and saw. Oh, and did you do something or what? But you'd think they would have been. Some of them would have been a bit brave to say so. Hairdresser on my leg. Cambrian. Eiffel Tower pastry shop, former cake decorator. Really? I'm a being a little distracted. And it's not the name that it's under. She may or may not be religious or fashion, so I'm not going to. But I appreciate that somebody finally liked that post after all that time. But I'm going to get rid of it because you know it. I feel like it no longer applies. Okay, so here we go. That's not it. Who posted it out of pure curiosity? Where is it again? Wonder if I. Oh, really? Hmm. Okay, this is interesting. This is an interesting twist. Uh, so apparently I blocked the person, not recently, which is why it's showing interesting gemstone butterfly rings, or what looks like it's put together in butterfly ring. But what's happening is that when I went to it, it didn't bring it up. It brought up other videos, and when I see who posted it, I think why I may have blocked them may have been because she's wearing a fur coat in her picture. I'll still remember Jet though, in Pride, wearing pretty much just that at a festival. Um, pretty much. Um, didn't have a whole lot to show, but anyway. But I'm going to try something here because I can do it via this device because it's uh, the other account signed in and she's not blocked there. But yeah, unfortunately, I didn't. She's like, "Yeah, buddy, like what the." But then she says, "Hey, I understand. You thought it was animal cruelty, and you didn't like that, and I get it. I kind of do agree." But she's actually saying something that makes me kind of think about what she would say about music sometimes when I felt like I couldn't relate to it. It was too sad, too like negative or whatever. She says, "But if it's a good song," and I didn't agree with that. But she's saying, Christine Ann was still a good person that I really miss. And she's one, she says, that actually doesn't really sense me that often. Um, um, she's kind of like my sister, she says, where sometimes she thinks she does. That's interesting. I got distracted. Somebody found a budgie, which makes me think of Monday at Thursday group. Uh, it's on their bike tire. She found it in front of the wood, as in like the Norwood. This is very interesting. Somebody said he's your bird now. And then somebody says, I'm not going to react to this. I don't know what to say because I put a care to that person's reaction. I kind of although they do look like a pretty kind of mean person, so maybe I'll just block him. Um, I'm just a fucked up girl trying to get her kicks. Okay. But somebody did say, "Wow, I hope you're never fortunate enough to lose your pet." Guess the same rules would apply to you, or apply to you. Absolutely, someone's pet. If you're able to catch him, check the lost pages for owner looking for him, and if nothing, then the best, take him to Winnipeg Humane Society. Did a speech about them in school, actually. Sorry. Okay, so it's about the middle. Anybody here? Nobody heard that? Okay, good. Good. I don't think you can tattoo a budgie like as an identifier. If it had something around its leg, that that'd be the only way I could think. Or talon, whatever. Reminds me of Carol and that server. Nice. I didn't know that person even with my ability. Okay, she says, "I know you can do it whenever you want. I don't have to be here." She's like, "There's a part of me that, even though the viewers wouldn't hear it, wanted to sing along the with from here." Um, so you're gonna do it or what, bud? So let me just check for a moment here and see if. And sorry that the topic got a little bit veered from, but I kind of made it relate a couple times. We'll see. We'll see what's going on in this video after I do this, because oh right, I'm like, but it's a Facebook video and I'm looking on YouTube. Because I do have a bit more of an idea, perhaps. Maybe not the first song, but fortunately, I can't find the blocker. So even though it's publicly posted, doesn't really matter. I've got a decision to make here, folks. Um, although I'm curious, somebody did just tune in, and I'm wondering how the audio quality will sound with this. I want to play a video, sing with it. It's a friend of mine who passed away. Sing with it in the same device I'm recording with, and sometimes that doesn't seem to work. And when I try and play back on my cell phone, I'm not hearing the other one. I'm tempted to put the link below. I almost had another way of doing this, but I don't. I'm tempted to put the link of the video below. If I can't sing with it, there's a part of me that would still want to share it. However, that is kind of, she was not private about her singing, you know. Um, I can't remember Jim Day, but she was still alive at the time this was recorded, obviously, in this way. I just had a very powerful spiritual visitation from her and my dad, and the viewer left. They were there for about 3 or 4 minutes. And I don't know if it was one of her loved ones or somebody else, but some people don't accept it or it triggers them. Maybe, I don't know. Um, if only they had been here and saw it in action. But again, a lot of people do, and it's not easy. I know it's not easy, but a lot of people do struggle to sit in the feels, as she would say. And it's so interesting to remember that she would say that, because up until I started channeling and kind of thinking about her more, I kind of sort of forgotten that she did until I started to remember that she did. But so I don't know if the person that just tuned in was here a moment ago or not, but do you think it would be okay for me to post a social media link of a friend who passed away singing in the comments of my channel? And you left. So, um, good thing is it didn't sound like it didn't sound distorted. I just didn't hear it. I wonder if I was, let me just try it with the speaker now that I know how to do that. Because then it's a bit more anonymous. There's actually a thing called karaoke anonymous. For those that don't know, those that do, nobody else does. So it's fine. I'm not doing anything bad, and this is quite special. Speaker's not coming on. Some reason. This was 1892, 5 years before our passing. But kind of maybe just when we kind of lost a bit of touch. Okay, why isn't this coming on? It says not connected. Connecting. Well, that's a delay. Be right back. Oh, just have somebody tune in. I'm just doing a quick audio test, and then I'm going to sing a song, and then maybe talk a bit more about the title. Things got a little bit distracted, but I'm so, and yeah, that's sweet. Really delayed. Except that I'm tempted to put the link below part. Well, I'm so glad to get me use social stuff. Okay, cool. So I was upstairs just checking the sound on this device because I'm trying to sync devices, and it said that there was one watching, but there's actually two of you here. And I'm watching this, playing this in incognito, and able to pause the live. So I'm almost at the point where I just get to see how it sounds, at least on my device. Um, and then I'm going to do a James Bray song and talk a bit more about the topic. And don't be shy in the comments. I'm so glad you're here. It's been quiet at points. Um, I could just do the sound check and see if you can hear it, and you could tell me if you can. It's in the same window in another tab. I hate to toggle, but where is it now? I have too many things open. How does this sound? And the video itself has some sound dips in it. How did that sound for you? And then I'll do it if it sounded okay. It's just it's playing and recording out of the same device. So I'm not sure that the audio thing is working. So what I'd like to ask is, and you both left. I know I didn't sound like it was very organized. I really wish I could play it off of here. You know what? Maybe I'll do that tonight. Now that I've sent that email, maybe I'll do it tonight with the other video, with the other cell phone rather. I'll open it up. Although I'm going to have to forward the email, I guess. Um, So, okay. So tonight, I'm going to do a cover because I can't get it working now with the devices I have, but I can connect. I could do the song just me, and I feel like Ray's saying, yeah, your voice is just fine by itself as well. I could do that, but then tonight, yeah, when I have the other cell phone, even though the Wi-Fi sometimes drops on it, I will uh, open the and the viewer just left, but whatever. I might still do it, you know, as her and I both know, and we all know. And I mean, you got to find the songs that are, you got to write songs at the right moment sometimes. But music is incredibly healing, right? And so, um, and next time I'm up, I really got to remember um, to go down and get the. I suppose that I didn't react to that to do the thing that's there. But she's like, yeah, because my friend, once you get with the guitar, even if some people, you did told me that some people tell you in life you should ditch the guitar, you're better at singing. I've heard you do both, bud, and you have you've been reminded of of a video that we made together, um, two actually, where you were playing guitar and singing. I mean, the one I had other things on my mind. I'm sorry if I felt like, we were there for a little while. You didn't record all of it, but I'm sorry if I was a little bit distracted. And I know I say that thing about music, but follow you into the dark. I mean, I believed in heaven. I believed in the opposite. And she's saying, um, I guess when I heard that song, I started thinking of my own mortality, even though things were not too bad with my health at that time. And she thought, am I just going to die and it'll be darkness? Or am I going to see the light and am I going to see heaven? Is heaven real? And she says, so that song, I'll follow you in the dark, into the dark. And you mentioned, and so it could trigger other people, so I won't do it. But, and you were mentioning how you couldn't believe you sang it then because of that lyric. And some of the other ones too. It actually mentions another place in Canada. It's very unique. She says, I held it together, I think. But she says, I started to worry that when I die someday, I'm just going to go into darkness. And I got kind of scared, to be honest. But I really think you, even if it may not relate to all of it, I really think you need to relate to this song. There's also the one from Frozen, but I don't know if I'd play that on here. So she says, you do you. Ironically. So what I actually need to find then is not just the lyrics, but the chords as well, and they'll come together. I feel like I might know some of his other songs too. This was long before Frozen anyway. Just going to bring it up on this. And then she says, yeah, you can, if you have the energy or the desire to do it later, you can try it with a different combination of devices. Maybe just make a short video, for the people that would feel bad if they can't or forget to come back and watch the rest of a long one and would rather have a short video. Maybe that's a good idea, bud. What do you think? Yeah, I understand and somewhat agree. So okay, well then, there you go then. Not the greatest. I hope this clip doesn't break because I don't have a bit. Oh, there's another one in there. Perfect. Sales coming, buddy. Get ready. I also forgot how often she said buddy, but she really did. Well, you are my buddy, regardless of how you see yourself. You're still my buddy. Maybe that's the word you prefer. So, play it, buddy. I'm walking home. I'm seeing shows. I understand the lyrics a bit better now, to this part anyway. I'm going to start again. Go back, please. There we go. Oh, it's going really fast. 7. I'm walking home, tugging low. Seeing shows and evening clothes with you and I. Nervous times, getting drunk. Staying up. Now we're slipping to the edge of something we don't need. Pushing in our heads. Won't let it go. Let it go. Can't let it be. What are you doing? Me. Everything that's broke, lived in the breeze. How do you do? I'll do me, and I'll do me. Throwing clothes across the floor. This is all we're looking for. Why are we doing it? I can't recognize myself. It's funny how reflection becomes something else. So let it go, let it be. don't you be you, and I'll be me, and I'll be me. Trying to fit in your head, trying to fit your... I don't know this part very well, sorry. Trying to fit your head inside of mine, when we know the force on earth can ever make me feel right. Trying to push the problem up the hill, but it's too heavy to hold. Now's the time to let it slide. Come on, let it go. Let it to the breeze. Why don't you be you, and I'll be me? Everything must go. Leave it to the breeze. Let the ashes fall. I'm sorry, I have to alter this. Don't forget about me. Come on, let it go. Lead it to the breeze. You gotta be you. Gotta be me. So I'll be me. Can't remember other songs we may have done back then. Did it better when the group was here on the spot, or maybe I looked it up. Release. Memories in my veins, maybe empty and weightless, and maybe I'll find some peace tonight in the arms of the angels, away from here. Oh, if there's that you fear, we are home from the wreckage of your silent reverie. Okay, do your version of this, Ray. You're gonna do it through me, okay? All right. Okay, I should have kept going though because I screwed myself up. distraction. Oh, beautiful release. Memories seep through my veins. Let me be empty and weightless, and maybe find some peace tonight. Okay, I went way from it. Come comfort me. All you've done. Get that line. All the things that you buy. The storm keeps on twisting, keeps on building the lies that you make up for all that you lie. It don't make no difference. It's the same kind of thing with these lines. Escaping one last time. It's easier to believe in the sweet madness of the glorious sadness that brings me to my knees in the arms of angels. Here in this world of no man's goal, but anyway, and that's you have born the show us going down the movement. Yeah, buddy. Woo! And I want to do one other thing. And maybe, I don't know where this is going to take me in my journey, this show, but maybe this one other thing, and I know I'm saying a little bit in between it or whatever, is meant to be at the end of the show, at the end of this. And I think it worked its way into the improv thing too. And I think it'd be a good way to wrap this up. There's nobody here right now. There's nobody here where I did the songs, apparently. It's unfortunate. It is what it is. I'm going to do the short version tonight. I think of just that one song. Although, now that I've sang it and the lyrics, the problem is I'm relating it to things, relating it to her. That's why I changed the lyric a little bit, because it said forget me. It's like, no, don't forget about me. I'm not going to make you do that. That would be very nice of me, and I don't want you to do that. You know, I don't want you to cry, but I have to go grab something for a moment. It's not that being a good person was hard, and this and that. It's this much in, so hopefully, most people won't see it anyway. But this is just, it's cathartic and therapeutic to me, and I feel like I have to do it. And I've felt it a few times in videos. I think I haven't yet, but I feel like I should. I will show the back, which does not show her name for privacy reasons, because it's a pretty good photo too. I carried it in a bag with me for a little while. Okay, the other thing is I'll have to cover that because it does show. Okay, so I'll show it twice. You can shed a tear that she is gone, and you can smile because she's lived. You can close your eyes and pray that she will come back. You can open your eyes. You can open your eyes and see all that she has left. Stay tuned. I really want to sing with her tonight in virtual form, and then my other plans this week are virtual too. Your heart can be empty because you can't see her, or it can be full because of the love that you've shared. You can turn your back on tomorrow and live yesterday. I'm going to skip that one because I don't think it's as powerful and good. You can remember her and only that she is gone, or you can also cherish her memory and let it live on. You can cry and close your mind, be empty and turn your back, or you can do what she would want. Smile, open your eyes, love, and go on. Yeah, buddy. Woo, woo, yeah. You guys rock. Woohoo. It's what I heard almost every week, sometimes twice at karaoke. Online and also online from her. I might actually recreate that. She says, your show, I know you want it to be about me, and it can be a little bit perhaps that you're working on, but she says it's really also um, about some general topics. And that's good too. So keep it simple. And tonight, yes, I think I'll do that. And I think I'll do this. And I'll do that scene again. Maybe I'll redesign this. Do a little scene. If it ever becomes a full show, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I try to respect her anonymity, however, and I don't think she really cares whether, it's known whether it's about her or not. I know. I know, but there is a part of me that thinks for others that may see it that knew her, and even if they didn't, why not be honest? But I'll have to think about that. I'll have to think about that. But I think I'm going to do a couple art related things next, and one might be just redesigning this. It may not ever go to stage. I don't know. And maybe I'll share this with him. But I mean, there was some deep stuff at the beginning, and I know it's going to be sad for him to hear. I just find this thing, and then I find out, oh, I don't quite qualify, so I can't take part. The other one's more open though. Oh, but you have to be 55 plus. I should have said, but they have my file between the two connected offices, and the other one looked me up my birth date, and being an old soul, I guess, doesn't count. I could try and go for the rest of summer. They stop in July just for something to do in May and June. I'll have to think about asking about that. But know that it is not going to be a consistent thing. Maybe down the road at the other location there'll be more options, and there's still those at least some coming up. So, and then if I ever get this condition and actually get diagnosed with it, I'll know that if that should happen in my life, and life is short, we should just, you know, somebody's connection should be allowed to do that. But it's just, unfortunately, it is very specific. Then he hasn't been asking. Like I say, I think I'd be happy to know I don't have it. But yeah, Anyway, I'm gonna wrap this up now. I think. I have a quick phone call I want to make. I feel like I want to redesign this because I want to change it up a little bit. And it'd be great to hear it in person, but if I can't, that's fine too. Because when I look back at this, I think there was a part of her there collabing with me. And when I look back at this, and I don't remember seeing this last time I looked at it, but that may have been live in the moment when I was doing that improv thing. I can't remember. Or it may have been more, at least twice. I don't know if I read this very special thing. And she's saying, yeah, buddy, you know, because it's not just about me, it's about you guys. You know, and I know I only met him once or twice, but I'm really happy, you guys, that you're enjoying your life together and cherishing that. And she says, and you guys deserve to be in the glory as well. I'll try and be here to watch when you do it later. I'll tell the others. Hopefully your video will go well. Hopefully your devices will cooperate. And just so somebody tunes in. So I'm just kind of letting you know that I'm going to be doing tonight, hopefully. And this wouldn't have worked if it was last night, because one of the rare nights that we actually went out during the week, or just in general. But you know what? If you're left, so like, yeah, you know what? If they don't want to, if they're not curious or interested, or they can't right now, don't force it, bud. Don't force it, bud. She's actually having me stand up. I'm visualizing her wanting to reach out to my hand, pulls me in with both hands for a hug, and says, "You take care, my friend. You take care." I'm just so happy that we can visit this way, because you're important to me, and you're one of the people that I miss. And she says, you know, as an angel, as a spirit, I can tell you that even though it is true that, you know, we still have very much of a personality, and that we don't feel to the same strength that humans often do. She says, I can tell you firsthand, she says, even talking, my friend's saying, talking to you through your telepathy, I still miss you in the physical. I still miss living in the physical. She says, this is the best I can do now that I've passed away. And the viewer was there just to hear the physical part twice. And, you know, she says, you know what? She says, who cares about them, though? If they don't believe in it or don't want to hear that, they'll do them. You do you. That's the big message here. You do you. You figure out what that means. And if that means performing and singing, and all you have, the only opportunities that you can get because of your inability to drive, and you're not liking bars all that much, although we kind of met in a bar, like, and saw each other every week. I know, but there was the music aspect. It usually wasn't too crazy there. You know, we'd get in conversation either with you or the others that were sitting with us. Somehow I managed it. I was different than I was in my 20s, man. Yeah, know, and maybe I have different sensitivities. And then going through the pandemic didn't help. She says, "Yeah, buddy, I know. I went through that too. Yeah, buddy." And she says, "But well, do what works for you, bud, and keep trying to find things. You know, do your art." Um, and whatever else you want to do. She says, "Can I have another hug? Would you like another hug before I go?" We just had one, but okay. And I'm gonna we're going to be wrapping this up, but if you care to. If you don't, I will for a moment. And then I saw a very interesting visual. She's standing in the kitchen doorway, which is right in front of me. She kind of stepped into it, did a pivot, like which way do I want to go, and then disappeared behind the wall. But actually, as I'm describing it, I'm seeing a visual that I almost missed, but feels worthwhile to express. And they do it in different ways. Sometimes they kind of dissolve away. Sometimes just pop. Sometimes it's they go through a wall or a door. But yeah, I saw they just kind of, and then drifted up. Drifted. So they, let me say, it could be on a channel because we're different levels and different planes or whatever. And this will get close to 2 hours. I got to wrap it up, and I'm really actually quite tired. Yes. But when they communicate in my telepathy, in my brain, in my head is here. It's something to look in. It's something to maybe research, because well, that being said, though, I don't know. I think it's also just people. We have off days. We do get our own distractions coming into things. But when you can really focus, and for me, when I can really focus and really just allow it to happen, like it did in this, my gosh, beautiful, beautiful. So, and it doesn't necessarily matter that they're so far away. Heaven was a place on earth. Oh, heaven is a place on earth. Do you know what it's worth?